So we begin today with a major update from Jake Fischer of the Stein Line regarding a young Timberwolves point guard who, let's face it, has not panned out. We are going to break down the update and discuss potential trade options for one Tim Connelly. One of the options I want to discuss on today's Timberwolves Digest is Coby White. Welcome back to the Timberwolves Digest. As always, North America. I'm Dave Dabbah, and I bring you daily Minnesota Timberwolves news, trade reports, trade rumors, and of course, a whole lot of commentary. I also want to thank everybody out there for all of your support. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Now, as always, I like to ask a question at the beginning of every Timberwolves Digest episode. And the question is a simple one. Is it time to trade Rob Dillingham? We're going to get into Rob Dillingham's numbers today. We're also going to discuss a potential trade that could bring Coby White of the Chicago Bulls to the Minnesota Timberwolves. An absolutely huge show for you today. Please go ahead and drop your comments in. But before we dive into today's Timberwolves news, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Download Kalshi by using the link below and enter code DIGESTNBA, and you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the U.S. On the platform, you can trade yes or no on real-time events like sports, elections, news, and pretty much anything. And whether you're in California or Texas or anywhere else in the country, Kalshi is now available in all 50 states for sports fans. Trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Personally, I see real value in the Timberwolves winning 55-plus games. Remember, they won 56 games last season. So look, Kalshi is generally a smarter way to use your sports or news knowledge. And of course, you can close positions whenever you want. Download Kalshi with the link in the description. Don't forget to use code DIGESTNBA to get your $20 bonus. Once again, I want to thank Kalshi for sponsoring today's video. So let's dive into what Jake Fischer of the Stein Line report actually said. Now, he went on to say, I've heard, by the way, that parting ways with Dillingham is indeed on the table. The Wolves were certainly aggressive in acquiring the number 8 overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft to select Dillingham, but he simply hasn't been able to fill Minnesota's playmaking needs as quickly as hoped and could well benefit from a change of scenery. We're going to dive into Rob's numbers, which I think absolutely support what Jake Fischer just said. From the Stein Line. I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are about this particular comment. You know, I have eyes. I watch all of the Timberwolves games, and everything I've seen out of Rob at this point indicates that he does probably need a change of scenery. So now I want to go inside the numbers on Rob Dillingham. You know, 3.7 points, 1.2 rebounds, and 1.9 assists. He's basically only playing about 10 minutes a game right now, and most of that time is essentially junk time. To say that Rob Dillingham has been in Chris Finch's doghouse is a bit of an understatement, and we certainly understand that head coach Chris Finch struggles with playing young players. Now, Rob Dillingham certainly had a golden opportunity with this Minnesota Timberwolves team, especially with old man Mike Connelly basically almost all the way down the backside of Career Mountain at this point. Rob clearly hasn't delivered both in practice and during games at this point. I think a change of scenery and maybe more consistent, longer playing time will do him good from a career perspective. Love to get your thoughts and opinions on that. Now, the other day we talked about Colin Sexton. We've talked about Trae Young, who I think is really going to end up with the Washington Wizards at this point. So I did want to readdress one of the topics that we discussed a couple weeks back. A different report had come out that the Timberwolves had actually made a phone call into the Chicago Bulls to inquire about one Coby White. Now, if we take a look at Coby White's numbers at this point, it's completely different than what we see from Rob Dillingham. 18.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, and more importantly, 4.6 assists per game. Not necessarily a great three-point shooter, but at the end of the day, what you get from Coby White is you get a player that I believe during clutch time could be on the court for those clutch minutes, a lot like Naz last season. I think Coby White has a tremendous amount of upside if the Timberwolves did ultimately trade for him. Now, trading Rob and his $6 million a year would require that the Timberwolves trade somebody else as well. But when you look at the overall contracts on this Timberwolves roster, there's certainly some other options or some other choices that could be included in a deal to actually go out and get Coby White. I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are. Once again, this is Coby's last year under contract. He's making just under $13 million. And when you look at what his performance has been, especially in the last 2 years, it's a bit of a steal, if you will. It's sort of a discount double check, if you know what I mean. Love to get your thoughts and opinions on that. Please go ahead and drop them in. Finally today, kudos to the Timberwolves the other night, as at home we flat out destroyed the Miami Heat. 122-94 was the final of that game. I thought the entire starting lineup played extraordinarily well. Things that continue to stand out to me are just how good Rudy Gobert has been on the boards. He had 16 of them against the Miami Heat. I think this is one of the reasons I think a Trae Young deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves is near impossible, because you wouldn't want to break up what you're getting from Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle at this point. Now, some of the other pieces is certainly a Dante DiVincenzo, if you will, a Rob Dillingham, and there are some other young pieces that, like TJ, who I hate to see go at this point, but if Terrence Shannon Jr. is not going to get enough playing time, then maybe it is time to part ways. That being said, this Timberwolves team is playing pretty good. 7 wins in their last 10 games. Love to get your thoughts and opinions. Please go ahead and drop them in. Finally, just a quick reminder, what are your thoughts? Is it time at this point to go ahead and part ways with Rob Dillingham? Drop them in. Once again, new to the Timberwolves Digest, please go ahead and subscribe, as always, for the Timberwolves Digest. I'm Dave Dabbah, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.